In July 2025, the world witnessed a shocking escalation between Cambodia and Thailand as long-standing border tensions turned into a deadly conflict. Over just 4 days, more than 30 lives were lost. Ancient temples were damaged, and over 200,000 civilians were displaced. What triggered this sudden outbreak of violence? And what were the key developments that followed? Let's explore the 10 most important facts that defined this brief but intense war. One of the most significant facts is that the ceasefire between Cambodia and Thailand took effect on July 29, 2025, just days after violence erupted. This agreement, brokered through emergency talks in Malaysia under ASEAN's leadership, aimed to stop the bloodshed immediately. However, the ceasefire is seen as fragile, with analysts warning that the root cause is territorial disputes. National pride and historical grievances remain unresolved. Despite the truce, the threat of future clashes still looms large. The second notable aspect of the conflict was the damage to cultural heritage. Some of the most intense clashes occurred near UNESCO-recognized temple sites like Muen Thom and Takreba, centuries-old Khmer temples that both nations claim. These sacred sites became unintended battlegrounds, with artillery fire reportedly damaging parts of the ruins. Historians and preservation groups around the world expressed deep concern over the destruction of cultural landmarks that symbolize a shared history. Adding to the chaos was the surge of misinformation on social media. Viral videos, unverified claims, and historical propaganda quickly spread across both countries, fueling nationalist sentiment and escalating public support for military action. In an age where digital misinformation can spread faster than truth, online platforms played a dangerous role in intensifying the conflict. National pride, stoked by false or exaggerated claims, pushed both sides further toward war. Another major development was Cambodia's move to involve the international community. On July 25, Cambodia formally requested an emergency meeting of the United Nations Security Council. This rare and serious diplomatic action signaled just how grave the situation had become. The UN, along with regional actors like China and the United States, urged both countries to de-escalate and commit to negotiations. The global attention helped accelerate peace efforts, leading to the eventual ceasefire. On the battlefield, the use of landmines and heavy artillery raised alarm. Both sides accused each other of deploying banned weapons, including anti-personnel mines and drones. The result was devastating: dozens of deaths, including civilians and medical workers, and severe injuries across both armies. Human Rights Watch and other organizations condemned the use of such weapons, urging an investigation into possible war crimes and violations of international humanitarian law. At the heart of the conflict were the ancient temple sites that have long symbolized national identity. The disputed zones of Preah Vihear, Takreba, and Muen Thom are not only religious and cultural landmarks, they're also emotionally and politically sensitive. Both Cambodia and Thailand claim ownership based on conflicting historical maps. In July 2025, these sacred places were transformed into militarized zones, with soldiers exchanging gunfire near structures built over 900 years ago. To contain the escalating violence, Thailand imposed martial law in its eastern provinces, including Surin and Ket. These measures allowed the Thai military to take control of curfews, evacuations, and civilian movements. While martial law helped restore order on the Thai side of the border, it also highlighted how serious the conflict had become, no longer just a border skirmish but a full-fledged regional crisis requiring military control. A surprising fact is how quickly peace negotiations were arranged. Within 72 hours of the first shots being fired, leaders from both countries met in Putrajaya, Malaysia, under the mediation of ASEAN, and with support from China and the United States. The rapid diplomacy led to a ceasefire agreement on July 28, showing that with enough political will and external pressure, even fast-escalating conflicts can be de-escalated just as quickly. Perhaps the most tragic outcome of the conflict was the humanitarian crisis it created. More than 200,000 people were displaced from their homes, with 138,000 in Thailand and nearly 80,000 in Cambodia. Families were forced to leave behind their belongings, livestock, and livelihoods as they fled shelling and landmines. Emergency shelters were overcrowded and lacked adequate food, water, and medical care, creating a secondary crisis that may take months to resolve. Finally, this was the deadliest border clash between Cambodia and Thailand in more than a decade. In just 4 days, over 30 people lost their lives, including soldiers on both sides and innocent civilians. Hundreds were injured, and the region was thrown into panic. With tanks, drones, long-range rockets, and minefields involved, this wasn't